Substitution. In today's lesson, we will be looking at what substitution is in maths. As an example here, I have a fish and chip shop menu. So in the fish and chip shop, they sell fish. So one portion for £1, chips, one portion for £1.20, pies, so one pie would be £2, sausages, a portion of sausages, £1.50, gravy 30p, and mushy peas also 30p. And we are going to answer some questions to do with this menu. So first one, it says find the cost of 2 fish and 4 chips. So obviously that's pretty simple and straightforward, isn't it? 2 fish is, well, 2 times £1, which is £2, and then 4 chips, which is 4 times £1.20. Yep, so it's up to you how you want to do that, either in a calculator or grid method or whatever method you wish to do so. So total, well, I'm going to add that up now. So £4.80 add £2 is £6.80. Okay. The next question says, work out the cost of 2 fish and 2 chips. Well, we already got 2 fish there at the top, isn't it? That's £2. And 2 portions of chips, well, it's going to be £2.20, isn't it? Because 2 lots, that's going to be £4.20. Okay, the next question. Zoom out a little bit so we can fit everything on a page. Number 3, 1 fish. So 1 fish is £1. Okay, then we need 5 sausages, so that's 5 times £1.50. That would be £7.50. Okay, and then we need 3 chips, so that's going to be 3 times £1.20. Okay, so that would be £3.60. Let's add them up. So we're adding £1, add £7.50, add £3.60. Okay, that would be £12.10p. Okay, so pretty simple and straightforward questions, and they're pretty simple to understand. However, it changes here a little bit because now it says find the cost of f plus 2p plus 2c. Well, what do you think that means? We can see here that the f has been abbreviated for fish, the p has been abbreviated for pie, and the c has been abbreviated for chips. So what we're going to do is, instead of the letters, we are obviously going to replace the letters with the number, aren't we? So for example here, let's write number 4 here. Okay, so we're going to have f plus 2p plus 2c. Well, f is fish, but fish costs £1. 2 pies, well, that's going to be £4. And 2 chips is double the 1 chip, which is £2.20. And you can see that here I have replaced the letter with a number, okay, that represents that letter. That is called substitution in maths, replacing a letter with a number. So I can work out the total cost here now. I'm going to do £1, add £4, add £2.20 to give me £7.20p. Okay, so nice and simple and straightforward. Let's have a look at another question. Okay, so this time we want 2 chips plus 5 pies plus 2 gravies. Again, we are going to replace the letters with the numbers. 2 chips, well, that's going to be £2.20. Pretty simple to do in our head. 5 pies, well, 5 times 2 is £10. And then 2 gravies, so that's going to be 60p, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we're going to add that up. So £2.20, add £10, add 0.60 for £6. That gives me £12.80p. So I have substituted the letters for the numbers. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, question 6. We're going to have 1f plus 3p plus 2m. So again, let's replace fish is £1. 3 pies, well, 1 pie is £2, so that's going to be £6. And mushy peas is going to be 60p. Okay, add them up. So £677 and 60p. Okay, so you kind of get the gist of that. So substitution is replacing a letter with a number. Okay, let's have a look at a few examples, and then we'll have a look at an exam question at the end. Now, normally substitution is it depends on what type of question you are given in the exam. So the first type of question is like a 1 mark or 2 mark question, which is a basic substitution question. So let's have a look. Let's say that m here equals 5, and we're going to say n equals 2. Okay, so number 1, we will work out 2m plus 3n. So substitute to work out the value of 2m plus 3n. So I know m is 5, so 2m, well, 2m means 2 times m, doesn't it? Or 2 lots of m. So 2 times 5, add 3n means 3 times n, but n is 2. 3 times 2, well, 2 times 5 is 10. Add 3 times 2, which is 6, which is 16. Okay. Another example could be you are asked to work out 3m minus 5n. Again, 3m means 3 times 5. Replacing the m with 5 because m is 5. Minus 5 times 2. And replacing the n with the number 2 because n is equal to 2. 3 times 5 is 15, 5 times 2 is 10, 15 take 10 is 5. Okay, what about another example? What if you had something like 3mn? So replacing the letters with numbers again this time round. M is 5 and n is 2. Okay. 3 times 5 times 2. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. What if you had something like this? We're just going to do lots of different examples that you could have. mn plus 4. Okay, so m is 5 and n is 2, but mn means m times n. So you're going to do 5 times 2, add 4. What I would say here is that you need to remember bid mass, or order of operation, should I say. Remember, you multiply before you add. So that's the order that I'm going to do this in. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 add 4 is 14. Okay. Okay. What if we had something like this? M squared this time. Well, m is 5, so I'll do 5 squared. 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. Okay. We could also have n squared, which would be 2 squared, which is 4. Okay, might get slightly tricky. You might end up with something like m squared, take away 3n. So m squared we've already worked out is 25 because 5 times 5 is 25. Subtract 3 times 2. So 25 subtract 3 times 2, which is 6. 25 subtract 6 is 19. Okay, lovely. Right, so they do get slightly tricky. Let's have a look at some more tricky examples. Questions like this would be worth about 1 or 2 marks in a GCSE exam, and then obviously they get slightly tricky when doing other type of questions in your exam, and I'll show you a few of them. Right, let's have a look at a few other examples. Let's say this time round we have G equals 4, and we'll say H equals 7. Okay, so slightly tricky questions now. Let's do GH squared. This is question 1. And we'll leave it at that, then we'll take it further. So GH squared, remember bid mass, we do brackets first. So GH means G times H. So that's 4 times 7 all squared. Well, 4 times 7 is 28. And you should 28 squared. Now remember, 28 squared means 28 times 28, which would be 784. Okay. Then you might have something like g squared h. Now it's important to remember what this means. If you don't understand what your expression means, you won't be able to substitute. So g squared h, well, g squared is 4 squared, isn't it? And remember, when you have letters together, it means times by h, which is 7. Remember BIDMAS? You do powers first. So 4 squared is 16 times 7. So 16 times 7 is 112. Okay. Okay, you might have something like this. It's really important to do the order of operations. Otherwise, what happens is that you could get the answer incorrect. 4gh squared. So again, that means 4 times g times h squared. Now you can write that out if it makes your life easier. Okay, 4 times, well, g is 4 and h is 7 squared. 4 times 4 is 16 times, well, 7 squared is 49, isn't it? So 16 times 49 is 784. Okay. So they just get tricky and tricky like this. You will have, let's have a look at a few of the examples of different ones that you can have. R equals 2 and T equals 6. Okay. You might have something like this. 3RT squared. So again, remember to write down what actually the bracket actually means. So that means 3 times, well, it's R is 2 times 6, because RT means R times T, all squared. Let's do the bracket first. So 2 times 6 is 12 squared. Well, 12 squared I know is 144. So 3 times 144 is 432. Okay. Okay, you might have something like this. 2t squared minus 4r squared. So again, 2 times 6 squared minus 4 times 2 squared. Remember, replacing the letters with the numbers. Well, that's 2 times, well, 6 squared is 36. And 4 times 4, because 2 squared is 4. 2 times 36 is 72 minus 16, which would give me 56 as my answer. Okay, let's do one more just to show you a tricky question that you might get confused with. RT all squared minus RT squared. Now, this is a very important question because pupils generally get mixed up with this. So let's start by substituting. RT here means R times T. So that's 2 times 6 squared. Now that, have a look. The first one here, RT, means R times T all squared. But here, the squared is just with the T. There's no bracket around it. So you're only squaring whatever the letter T is. So R is 2 times 6 squared. Okay, so this first bracket is just 12 squared minus 2 times, and you're only squaring the 6, which is 36. 12 squared is 144, and 2 times 6 is 72. So 144 takes 72 is 72. Okay. Okay, you might have a question like this as well. So let's say A is 6, B is 3, C is 2, and D is minus 4. Okay, you might have a question like this. A plus D all over C. Okay, so A is 6, well, plus D is minus 4 all over 2. Important here, 6, well, what does a positive and a negative make? It makes a negative. All over 2. Well, 6 take away 4 is 2 over 2. That line there means divide. 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's your answer. Okay. you might have something like this, AD over C. Well, AD means A times D, so 6 times minus 4 divided by 2. Remember that line means divide. 6 times 4 is 6 times minus 4 is minus 24, divided by 2. Well, half of minus 24 is minus 12. Okay. Okay, what you could also have is something like this, the square root of ABC. Okay, square root of, well, ABC means 6 times 3 times, well, C is 2. So let's multiply that out. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 2 is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. So again, you're just replacing the letters with the numbers. That's what substitution is. Let's have a look at another example. This time, let's do another divide one. 2a plus b divided by 5. Well, zoom out a little bit so we can see what the letters were. A is 6, so that's 2 times 6. B is plus 3 divided by 5. Don't need to replace the 5 with anything. Sorry, number there. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 3 divided by 5. That's 15 divided by 5, which is 3. Okay, lovely. Right, let's have a look at an exam style question then. So let's say, I'm going to copy this out from a paper. When y equals 1, which expression has the largest value? Okay, and it's 3 plus y, 10 minus y, y squared, 3y, and y over 2. Okay, when y is 1, so I'm going to use a different color pen, let's just use black. Which one has the largest value? So you have to work each of them out, obviously. That's 3 add 1, which is 4. That's 10 take away 1, which is 9. That's 1 squared, which would be 1. That's 3 times 1, which would be 3. That's 1 divided by 2, which is a half. So which is the largest one? It's this one, isn't it? 9. So I'm going to circle that. Okay, and that is an example of an exam style question that you can have in your exam. Okay, and this here was worth 1 mark. Okay, and I've just taken it from a past GCSE paper. So we've just looked at substitution. So substitution is replacing letters with numbers, and we've just done that now. I hope this lesson was useful. Thank you for watching.